The other day I was in a discussion about politics, and one woman said, when someone else said Poilievre, she said, "Don't ever mention that name to me again." So I interviewed. I said, "Why? Why not?" She said, "I hate that guy. He's now the leader of the Conservative Party. John Capobianco is a long-standing big Conservative with Fleischman Hillary in Toronto. He joins me because I want to put the question to you. How do you expect to form government, to win an election with a leader who a lot of people say, well, he's polarizing and I don't like him?"
Well, the same thing could be said about Justin Trudeau. People said the same thing about him after every election.
Now, but not in 2015 so much.
But this last election, though, quite frankly, and even the next one, whatever the next election will be, even if Justin Trudeau is still the leader of the Liberal Party. But Pierre Poilievre tapped into what Conservatives always wanted to hear, is somebody who believes in conservative politics and conservative issues, but is not afraid to speak them. So now
Are you saying Canada could be a conservative country?
I think Canada is traditionally a conservative country. I think there needs to be some level of moderation on certain issues. But I think Canadians believe in individual rights and freedom of expression and believe in being able to just, live your life the way you're supposed to be. Governments are there to help people that can't help themselves. They're not in there to intrude and be there on your day-to-day basis. What the pandemic taught people and why people became so upset was that government became so intrusive. Yes, it needed to be the case, but not beyond the pandemic. And I think that's why Justin Trudeau had such a visceral reaction to people, and that's why Pierre Poilievre will become the next prime minister, because people understand that he speaks about freedom and speaks about giving your life back.
Do you think that should he form a government, we're going to have a less intrusive government, a smaller government, a government that doesn't stick its nose into people's business as much?
Yes, I do. I believe that. I believe that's what Pierre's been like that since I remember when we were both in youth politics. He's always believed in that level of freedom and economic individualism. And I think that that's something he's been talking about. It might rattle a lot of people who have not used to hearing that from some conservative leaders since maybe Stephen Harper or Mike Harris. Both of whom, by the way, Stephen, weren't liked when they became leaders, and both became respective prime ministers and premier, and went on to serve some really good governments.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and I think that you make some very, very good points. But it seems to me that with Trudeau, and he is very polarizing now, and he's done that, by calling certain groups bad names. It was not visceral until after he served. Anybody who serves in government, you know that. They're going to have their enemies. But right now, what we have is somebody who's not even in government yet, and people are saying, well, you know what? He's just too polarizing.
I'd rather have that than somebody to understand and know who Pierre Poilievre is. They may not like him, but they'll get to know him better when he actually becomes a candidate for the prime ministership, whenever the next election is.
Which could be sooner than we think. John Capobianco. That's for another one. 3 minutes. Please stay tuned to keep informed about the latest policy issues. We all need to sharpen our game, because if we don't, we could end up with another Justin Trudeau government, and we don't want that. So please subscribe, tell your friends about the show, and if you can, PayPal, because that guy behind there, he wants to get paid. He does a very good job.